If you want to add one more zero in your paycheck, this is the video you need to watch with your undivided attention. Do not increase the playback speed. Do not miss any second because I have created this video. This is one of my paid insights that I'm giving out. This will be longer. This is going to have real world insights. Nothing is fluff in this video. If you watch it till the end and you are making 20,000 a month from one client, you would know exactly what you need to do to make 2 lakh a month from that particular client, because this is what I'm gonna decode in detail, which no one in the Indian freelance industry has ever done so far. To understand this entire concept, you need to know that there are two kind of freelancers. There are two categories of freelancers in India that are operating. The first one is where they are working for 10, 12, 13 hours a day and they are making 30 or 40,000 a month. This is at par with the corporate salary, the average corporate salary that is there. The second one is that they are working for 5 or 6 hours a day and they are making 2 or 3 lakhs a month. Because you must have observed this. And if you haven't, then I don't know what you are doing. But because at some point of time, I'm sure it would have crossed your mind. There is no chance that it wouldn't have crossed your mind that the same service that you are offering, someone else in the market is offering and doing the exact same thing that you are doing, and they are charging 10 times more than you. So what is it that they are doing and you aren't? And no, it has no relation to the tools. It has no relation to the skill set. It has relation to something very different. There are many verticals which to a normal beginner freelancer, they are literally unknown because you decode them as you travel on this path for a longer period of time. And that is exactly what I'm gonna tell you. This video is gonna be divided into sections, and this is the first section. So in the first section, I want you to just sit down right now, pause this video after I'm done, and just write down everything you have done in the last 24 hours. It's not gonna take you much time. So just pull out the notebook, write down what you did in the last 24 hours, and just have a look at it. Now pause this video, write it down, and come back. I'm assuming you would have done it so far, because if you are serious a little bit about increasing your income, because you cannot just go from 20,000 to 2 lakh without a lot of pain. And this was the first step of pain that you need to take, that you need to listen to me, take out a notepad and write it down. If you took it, well and good. If you didn't, you are just wasting your time, because I'm gonna do this for the one person who's actually implementing it right now. So if you are the one, congrats. I'm proud of you. Now, tell me and tell yourself, do you have a decent schedule? Because in 99% cases, you do not have a schedule. You do not have a wake up time. You do not know at what time you are sleeping. You do not have a particular slot for eating. You just do things as you please, as it makes sense. That is the number one thing. Okay. Your mornings would be typically around clients, because as soon as you wake up, you check your phone the first thing, because majority just can't live without their phone. So you check your device, you see what all messages are there, and you have a lot of clients, maybe 2, 3 or 4 clients that you have signed at a rate of 25 or 30,000 or 20,000, no matter how much you are selling your service at. If you have 3, 4 clients, they would be jumping in. Somebody needs a change, someone just vanished and they just popped up after a week. Somebody wants this change, somebody wants that change, and everyone is just after your time. I'm pretty much sure by the end of the day, your brain would be fried that I did so much work today. But when you actually quantify it, when you write it down and you see, you would be like, I spent 12 hours today. I worked for 12 straight hours and I'm not getting the amount of money that I should have gotten. This is not at all justified for the efforts that I'm putting in. And that's where you realize that this is the busyness trap, where you stay busy catering to multiple clients, juggling from one call to the other, from one draft to the other, from one Notion doc to another Notion doc, from creating one strategy to the another strategy. And then if you have clients from different time zones, this becomes a really daunting task. And that's how your major chunk of the day is just vanished. You do not have any structure in it. Now let me flip the narrative and let me get you into the shoes of a freelancer who is making 2 or 3 lakhs a month. And here I'm not taking agencies, for example. The assumptions that we have right here, the assumption that we are taking is that in both the cases, freelancer A is solo, works on his own, doesn't delegate any single task. Freelancer B, he also works solo, He doesn't delegate any task and he does everything on his own. So now the major difference that comes in between both the freelancers is that one has the control of time. One has fixed deliverables, fixed working hours, like fixed hours where the client can reach out to them. They have a window. Their business and personal is separated to a certain degree. So that freelancer who is making 10x more than you has 10x more control over his time, 10x more control over who reaches out to him and who doesn't. He is very selectively available because see, real money, it moves in silence. If you are throughout the day, you are just crowded, you have this mental ping pong. Somebody's slacking you, somebody on Telegram, then you have got your friends, then you have got your family, then your acquaintances, then relatives and all that stuff. Whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, that happened because of one particular day where you sat quietly, you decided that I need to bring money into my bank account and you implemented on that. Money never moves in crowds. It simply moves in silence, and that's the thing you are missing. There is no window in your entire day where you move in silence. So first things first, you need to create a window of silence where it's just you, your thoughts, your brain, and your pen and paper, and you put down things that you have in your brain into that notepad and make it into actionable steps that you can actually implement. You are not getting tired because you are working hard. You are getting tired because a different version of you throughout the day is getting accessible to different kind of people. But the only person you are not able to access, and the person who is not able to access you, is your own self, your own thoughts, your own mind. And until unless you start sitting with yourself, you cannot expect that you are gonna make some good changes, because the changes are going to come from within. So this is the first step. You need to get out of the busy trap. You need to take out slots for your own self where you actually sit down with you and your thoughts, and you are highly undermining your thoughts. Whatever I am today, wherever I am, it's all because of the thoughts. It's all because of the things that I wrote down, the ideas my brain had. Yes, out of 10 ideas, 9 failed, 1 worked. And that's exactly what I needed. Section 2 is about your positioning. Answer this question to me. What do you do? What do you do? In a professional space, what is it that you do? Answer it. And I know your answer would be somewhat like that. I do content writing, I'm a social media manager, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a copywriter, I'm a website. Dude, this is exactly the mindset that is keeping you in the 5 figures. This is exactly what you need to break. If you ask me that, Vaibhav, tell me what you do, I would be like that. I help Web3 businesses scale up with content, marketing, and literally everything that we can do digitally in order to bring in more users and reach out to more eyeballs, get in more investors and bring them more money, and all that through organic marketing. See the difference. I didn't say that I'm just a marketer. I didn't say I'm a writer, copywriter. Like, I do all kinds of content, but the way I positioned it was coming from a level of authority that, okay, this guy is into Web3. He helps project bring in money. So you have to make it very clear. Who do you cater to? What you do? And what is the impact that is out there once you do that thing? Because if you are just a content writer, okay, the first thing I would be like, I can do it from ChatGPT. You see, the positioning has to be very different than the rest of the majority that is going on. The reason that I'm telling you this is, like, you say I'm a social media designer, I'm a marketer, I'm this, I'm that. The problem is everyone else is also saying the same. So you, instead of becoming a value attracting thing, you are becoming and presenting yourself as a commodity, which is the worst thing that can happen and that you can possibly do in your career. You do not want to be presented out as a commodity. You wanted to present yourself as a luxury, that, okay, if you have me on your side, no matter how much confidence you have or what kind of services you are offering, you need to have that skill that if I go to this particular team, I work with this person, I'm gonna give the best he can possibly get at this price point. That's what you have to do. Now, when I asked you what you do and when I told you what I do, did you see the difference? The difference is you were selling the service. I was selling the outcomes. I was selling the solution. When I told you what I do, it simply told you that this guy brings money through his marketing ops for Web3 businesses. When you said that you are a social media marketer, I would have to follow up. You do Instagram, okay, you do LinkedIn, or what you do, then you do organic. I made it very clear. So this is the difference. Your positioning, the way you present yourself in the outer world, that shapes the entire personality of you in front of the other people, the other party, the client, the potential client who's going to invest money on you. So you need to sell the services, or do you need to sell the solution? You need to sell the solution. Understand one thing, write it down. The clients do not pay you for your work. They pay you for what your work does. We are on to section 3 now. And what all I have told you, this is literally tried and tested by me and my mentees. So this works. This is coming from my real life practical experience. And the third section revolves around setting up boundaries. If you are accessible and you have a hard time saying no, this industry is gonna be ruthless on you. You are not gonna make it. You are not gonna make the amount that you want to make in this industry if you are that kind of a person. If the client reaches you midnight, you are available. Like I have myself told that you have to spoil the client, but that doesn't come at a cost of spoiling your own boundaries. You need clear boundaries that at this slot, that in 24 hours that I have in my day, if I sleep for 8 hours, the 16 hours that I have, clients only get 10, 11 or 12 hours. Rest 3 or 4 are mine. In those hours, you just can't, except very exceptionally rare case. If something really urgent comes up, I'll address it in those 4 hours. But if not, you cannot reach to me in those 4 hours because those 4 hours are mine. Those are my arena. That's my time. I have full control over it. And I dig behind the psychology of people who do have a hard time saying no, because I usually had this problem initially, that even I, for clients, because I was like, if I'll say yes to everything that they're going to do, that they're going me and telling me to do, they will like me. But you know what instead happened? They didn't like me. Like they liked me only because that I was becoming the yes man every single time. But eventually it was getting me just more and more work at the same rate. Dude, that is not something that you would want to do. That's what I told myself, that Vaibhav, this is not how it's gonna go. This guy is paying you just 30,000 for this entire project, and you are spending so much time onto him for things that he says that are really urgent, but you know it is not urgent. Vaibhav, you are only doing this because you want him to like you, to like your work, but eventually it's just getting more work on your desk at the same rate. So you need to stop it. And that's exactly what I did. And once I created those boundaries, the client started respecting it. And then things changed. The whole point of a freelancer who has boundaries is that you then stop being a helper. You start becoming their partner. And partners are treated with more dignity, respect, and integrity as compared to a helper. So you need to stand out and set yourself up as a partner, not a helper, and you need those boundaries. Once you become a partner, see, this is the difference between 20k and 2L a month. You talk about revisions. The 20,000 rupee guy is going to give you infinite revisions. The 2 lakh per month guy is not going to give you those revisions. You talk about the payment method. The 20k guy will be paid at the end of the month. The 2L guy would be paid on a weekly basis, milestone basis, advance basis, or very different kind of thing. In terms of reaching out, the 20k guy would be highly available. The 2 lakh per month guy would not be that available. He would be selectively available. But when he says he'll be available, like if he says I'll be available between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., then no matter what happens, he's gonna be available between 10 to 6. He's not gonna give excuses of absence at those particular point of time. The 20k guy would go, break his word, break the trust. The 2 lakh per month guy, he understands these things. So these things would be different. Section 4 is about something that I do not generally advocate. Like I do not advocate charging on an hourly rate, but I highly advocate knowing your hourly rate. Now understand this with the help of numbers. Let's run the numbers. Let me help you with the help of an example. Okay. Suppose you are a freelancer who is charging 20,000 rupees from a client. All right. You are charging 20,000. You are working 100 hours a month. So Your hourly rate is what? 200 rupees, right? I am the same guy. I'm charging 2 lakhs to that client. I'm working 80 hours a month. Okay. How much am I charging? 2500 INR. Same laptop, same four walls, same body, same brain, same niche, same services, same tools. You use Notion, I use Notion. You use Slack, I use Slack. You use YT, ChatGPT, Gemini. I use the same. Where is the difference? Where is the difference? Tell me, where is the difference? And the difference is in the packaging. You are selling your time. I am selling the value prop, the solutions. You have made it about that this is a problem that I'm going to solve. I have made it about that this is a problem that I'm going to solve that's bring you this amount of money, and I need that percentage of share of the money that I'm going to help you make. You are a helper. I am a partner. You understand the game. It is not something superficial. It's not something really fancy. It's just simple, basic, pure math. And you just compile it with emotional and financial intelligence, and you have this packaging here. You don't need to sell your time. If you are selling your time, you better join a corporate. At least you will get extra benefits along with the salary. If you are in this industry, if you are in the service-based industry, you need to be shifting to the value front. You need to be about the numbers, about the money. You need to tell the client that if I join you, you make money. And when you make money because of me, you pay me this much because I'm helping you make this much. What do you think? If you are making a client 20 lakhs a month, he'll not pay you 2 lakhs. No one in their right mind is gonna deny that offer. But for that, you need to be sure that you are the guy who can make 20 lakh for that client. And that's where your value stuff comes in. Because if you are not sure, you are gonna just keep on selling your time and you will be stuck at the 20k level for a very long period of time until one day your conscience would kick in and you will figure this out. That might be today. That might be after a year, that might be after 10 years. Listen, you are not underpaid because you are untalented. It has nothing to do with your talent. You are underpaid because you are undervalued. And 99.9% cases, you are undervalued by your own self. And that thing needs to stop at this particular moment. Freelancing is not your lucky escape. It is a business. And businesses that do not grow with hustle, as you have heard many times that businesses grow with hustle, you need to hustle hard. Businesses, they grow with clarity. So you need to have absolute clarity about your own self and your service. That if I do this, then this happens. And when this happens, this is the money you make. And when you make this money, this much is what I get out of it. Because you are making this much because you have me on your board. So when I join you, I am the asset. I am the cash cow. I am your pole star. I'm gonna do everything possible. And you can only be that much confident and you can value yourself once you know that you can actually do it. You need to wire your brain like that. You need to get into that zone and you need to start implementing these things. Business is not luck. Here is the harsh truth. The markets are never gonna value you more than what you value yourself. So if you value yourself at 20k, the market is not gonna pay you 2 lakhs. So the first shift happens here. It is all psychological in this freelancing industry, in the service-based industry for that matter. Whatever you see about yourself here, that is the reality. That's the version that you actually become. You do not get money or you do not scale by doing things. You scale and you get things by doing things right.